You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders to protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. If you serve on a finance committee, sit on a board, or carry responsibility for the budget of a Texas church, this episode is for you. Today, we are going to learn about the true cost of skipping out on insurance for your church. Ted was sitting at a long table in Dallas with his church's finance committee, staring at a renewal notice no one was prepared for. Their insurance premium had tripled in a single year, not crept up, not nudged higher, tripled. The room went quiet. The budget was already tight, ministry dollars were already stretched, and Ted felt the weight of a question he didn't want to ask out loud, but knew someone eventually would. What if we just didn't renew our insurance at all? That thought didn't come from recklessness. It came from pressure, and that's important to understand. Churches don't consider skipping insurance because they don't care. They consider it because they care deeply and feel trapped. The short-term math looks tempting. Cancel the policy. Slash the expense. Breathe for a moment. But here's the hard truth every Texas church needs to hear. The money you save by going uninsured is almost always the most expensive decision you can make. In Texas, property damage isn't theoretical. Hail, wind, fire, theft. These are regular realities. Without property coverage, one storm can wipe out years of faithful giving in a single afternoon. Roof damage alone can run into six figures, and rebuilding without insurance isn't stewardship. It's a financial freefall. And property risk is only part of the picture. Liability exposure is what quietly destroys churches. One slip and fall, one injury during a church event, one employment dispute, one allegation that requires legal defense. Without liability coverage, the church doesn't just pay damages, it pays attorneys, court costs, and settlements out of pocket. Even a small claim can cripple a ministry. Ted hadn't fully considered that part. He was thinking about roofs and premiums, not legal defense bills that don't stop just because the offering plate is light that month. There are also costs you don't see on a spreadsheet. When a church suffers a loss it can't recover from, the damage ripples outward. Ministries pause, outreach stops, trust erodes. The church's ability to serve its community shrinks, sometimes permanently. Going uninsured doesn't just risk money, it risks momentum, credibility, and mission. Here's the important pivot Ted had to make, and it's one every church leader needs to hear. The choice is not full coverage or nothing. The real choice is some protection or total exposure. In this market, not every church can afford the same coverage they had 5 years ago. That's reality. But there are ways to restructure, adjust deductibles, scale intelligently, and prioritize protection without abandoning it entirely. This is where working with a church insurance specialist matters. Not a generalist, not a call center. Someone who understands how Texas churches actually operate, where risks truly live, and how to balance cost with protection. Insurance isn't a lack of faith. It's an act of leadership. It's saying, we are going to protect what God has entrusted to us so that this ministry can outlast us. Ted didn't walk away from insurance. He walked away from guessing. With the right guidance, his church found a way to stay protected without breaking the budget and without gambling their future. And that's the goal for every church listening today. If your church is feeling squeezed and wondering what coverage you truly need right now, talk to one of our Texas-based church insurance specialists at Insurance for Texans. Connect with us by going to our website at insurancefortexans.com. And if you want a framework to think through these decisions as a leader, I want to invite you to read our book, The Promise of Certainty. It's written specifically for pastors and church leaders. Get your copy by going to thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith Stewardship and Insurance, protecting Texas churches. Until next time, remember, church insurance can fit your budget and ministry when you choose to work with experts.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.